Hey everyone. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to try and understand modern India by digging into its ancient past. We're talking about a 3,000-year-old philosophy from the Vedas that, you'll see, has some seriously practical advice for life, right here, right now.
So let's just start with the biggest question there is. Why is India, well, the way it is, With all its amazing diversity, its contradictions, all that energy, the answer, it turns out, isn't hiding in some dusty old history book. It's actually written into the very fabric of the culture itself. It's a living philosophy that we can still tap into today. Okay, here's a cool way to think about it. Imagine India has a kind of cultural operating system. And if you start mapping out data, stuff like food, language, you name it, this really fascinating pattern shows up. A diagonal line, sometimes called the Ashworth line, that kind of splits the country into two pretty distinct cultural zones. It's this powerful visual that shows how two different operating systems are basically running on the same hardware, creating the incredible mix we see every single day.
All right, so to really understand this operating system, we've got to go deeper. We need to look at the source code, the original program that was written thousands of years ago, the Vedas. Now, when you hear Vedas, don't just think religious texts. They are something way more unique in human history. Seriously, try to imagine a high-definition audio recording of an entire civilization, capturing its thoughts, its arguments, its hopes, and then preserving it perfectly for 3,000 years? That's what the Vedas are. They give us this unbelievably clear window into the past.
And this code, it wasn't written all at once. It was composed over centuries, and it was on the move. It all kicks off around 1500 BCE with the Rigveda, way up in the northwest. But then, over the next 600 years or so, you see this cultural center of gravity start to shift, moving east across the massive Gangetic Plain, adding new layers of philosophy and new ideas as it goes.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the core program, the killer app of this whole operating system. You find it in the oldest Veda, the Rigveda, and it completely flips the script on what most of us think Indian philosophy is all about.
This is the raw, almost untamed energy of the Rigveda. Its main hero, if you will, the god Indra, is the perfect embodiment of this spirit. The core message is all about intense, powerful action. It's almost like it's shouting at you, give your absolute best, tear it apart. It's a command to go all out, to win, to just dominate whatever challenge is in front of you. And this right here is the big misunderstanding. The original source code of Indian culture wasn't about stepping back from the world. No way. It was about diving in head first, driven by what the texts call Ichcha Shakti, which literally means the power of will, the raw, unapologetic energy of desire and ambition.
So this was a philosophy for a young, hungry, and really confident civilization. It taught you to want things, wealth, success, victory. You were supposed to declare your goals out loud to the universe and then just commit everything you had to make them happen. It was basically a blueprint for building a world from the ground up.
And this leads to a really crucial, powerful idea. See, detachment isn't where you start, it's where you end up. The Vedic path says you first have to engage with the world. You have to build something, achieve something. You actually have to earn your renunciation. In other words, you have to first become something that's even worthy of being renounced.
But this cultural code was never meant to be frozen in time. Like any good software, it got some major updates over the years. As the hardware of society changed, the software had to evolve right along with it. As that early Vedic culture spread out, it wasn't moving into an empty space, not at all. It met new people, new local traditions, new ways of thinking. Society changed from these small nomadic tribes into complex, settled cities. And this new, much more diverse world needed a different kind of operating system and different kinds of gods to help run it. And we can literally watch this system update happen by looking at how the gods changed. The fierce Indra, the perfect god for ambitious kings, he slowly makes way for Vishnu, who goes from being a minor deity to the great preserver, which shows a new need for social order. Then the feared storm god Rudra merges with these ancient pre-Vedic traditions to become the beloved, super complex figure of Shiva. And finally, you get Krishna, the great uniter, a god whose philosophy of love and even playfulness could break down barriers in a society that had fully become this incredible, diverse melting pot.
So look, this is all fascinating history, but what does this 3,000-year-old source code actually mean for you today? How can you run this code in your own life?
Understanding this ancient code isn't just for, a history test. It's like finding a user manual for your own culture, and it offers some incredibly practical tools for navigating the world we live in right now.
So here are the key takeaways. First, knowing this history builds deep empathy. You start to see that India's diversity isn't some accident. It's the result of thousands of years of cultures mixing together. Second, this kind of deep knowledge helps you develop what you could call taste, a refined ability to see patterns and quality, which is an absolutely crucial skill when we're all drowning in information. And maybe most importantly, it gives you permission to be ambitious, to channel that original Indra energy and go out and build your own future.
And as India finds a new, more confident place on the world stage, that primal, ambitious spirit of the Rigveda just feels more relevant than ever. This isn't about going back to the past. It's about realizing that the energy you need to build a new civilization is the same energy that started it all in the first place. That Indra energy. It's rising again.
So the source code of the past gives us a framework, but the future is totally unwritten. The next version, India 2.0, isn't going to be a copy of the old one. It's going to be coded by a new generation. So the real question this ancient wisdom leaves us with is, are you ready to write it?